Shoot.
All right, the next one we're going to do is horizontal adduction, and that is the pec major. You're going to have the elbow flexed to 90 degrees, the shoulder abducted to 90 degrees, and elevated so the olecranon is facing the ceiling. And what you have the patient do is pull across their body. Now there are two heads to the pec. There is the clavicular and the sternal head. This position here combines both heads, so we call it an aggregate motion. So if you would pull across, good. All right, hold there, don't let me pull you over. I'm going to stabilize the opposite shoulder, 1001, 1002, 1003. She held strong, so that would be a 5. If she gave, that would be a 4. Now, with the two heads, we do differentiate between the sternal and the clavicular head. The sternal head is innervated by the medial pectoral nerve, medial cord, and the clavicular head, the lateral pectoral nerve, lateral cord. So that's why you have to differentiate them, because neurologically they are served by different portions of the brachial plexus. Also orthopedically, when you tear the pec, you usually tear one or the other head, not both of them. So to isolate for the sternal head, what you're going to do is come from that 90-degree position and just step up to 120 degrees and 3. So she held, that would be 5. If she gave, that would be a 4. Now for the clavicular head, what you're going to do is just step down here toward the hip, so the shoulder is abducted to approximately 60 degrees, and you're going to reach up and across. All right, so that was a 3. So hold there, don't let me pull you down. So you're going to pull toward here, 1001, 1002, 1003, and you can see there's a little bit of difference. I would only give her a 4 there in the clavicular head, because she was giving a little bit, where the sternal head was a 5. Now for a 3 or 2, 1, and 0, if you would sit up and face Esther. It's all heads combined. They do not differentiate for 2, 1, and 0. So you're going to mimic that starting position of abduction 90 degrees, shoulder at the shoulder, elbow flexed to 90 degrees, and you're going to then bring the arm forward, and can you pull across your body? Okay. So that would be gravity reduced because you're supporting the weight, and the pec is right here on the anterior aspect of the shoulder, so this is where you would palpate. For a 1, if nothing happened, that would be a 0. Okay. Okay, this position here is for the posterior deltoid horizontal abduction. You'll have your patient prone, shoulder abducted to 90 degrees, elbow flexed to 90 degrees. So she's going to try to bring her olecranon up. So can you raise your arm up toward the ceiling? This time we do want to allow glenohumeral motion. This is a glenohumeral muscle, not a scapular muscle. So you can stabilize the scapula here. She just demonstrated a 3. Hold there, don't let me push you down. Ooh, but she is not even a 4. So I would maybe give her a 3+ because she held just a little bit. We're not into plus and minuses, so you have to go into the lowest grade she was able to demonstrate, which would have been a 3. Now for the 2, 1, and 0, if you would, sit up for me and face Esther. And hang your legs over the side of the table. Okay. So you would put the arm in the same position, abduction 90 degrees, elbow flexed to 90 degrees. You're going to support the arm. Can you move your arm back toward me? So that would be a 2. We could also support proximally. So posterior deltoid is on the posterior aspect of the shoulder to the deltoid tuberosity. So move back toward me. You would palpate there for a 1. If nothing happened, that would be a 0. And relax. Okay, the last two we're going to combine because you do them in the same position, and that is shoulder internal external rotation. So this would be the motion of external rotation, lifting the dorsum of the hand toward the ceiling, and internal rotation would be the palm coming up toward the ceiling. Abduction of the shoulder, 90 degrees. Elbow is flexed to 90 degrees. So she's demonstrated that she could do a 3. So we're going to stabilize the scapula here and have her hold 1001, 1002, 1003. So she was a 5 for external rotation, and now come through for internal rotation. And hold there, don't only push it down, 1001, 1002, 1003, she gave. So I would only give her a 4 for internal rotation. And now the position for 2, 1, and 0 is pretty easy. If you would, sit on the edge of the table facing Esther. It is, if you remember how we measured range of motion for internal external rotation, you're just going to have the elbow or the shoulder abducted to about 15 degrees, elbow flexed to 90, and you would start here. Can you move your arm out toward me? And I'm supporting it. That would be external rotation. Can you move it in toward your stomach? That would be internal rotation. And your external rotators are your teres minor, infraspinatus. So on the posterior aspect of the shoulder, try to rotate out toward me. And then your subscapularis coming into the lesser tuberosity of the humerus here, turn in. So that would be where you palpate for 1 for internal rotation. Nothing's happening. It's a 0 for each. And we're done. Ready? Mm-hmm. All right, this is testing the lower trapezius. So this was, relax, this was the position for the middle trapezius with thumb up at 90 degrees of abduction. Now we're going to go up to 120 degrees of abduction, thumb up, and now try to lift your arm up for me. And that would be a 3, relax, okay? Resistance, remember this is not cross the glenohumeral joint, so the resistance will be here on the acromion. Hold there, only push you down, 1001, 1002, 1003. I'm holding and stabilizing the opposite scapula, relax, okay? So that was 3, 4, and 5 she held. That was a 5 if she gave, that would be a 4. To do a 2, this is a scapular depressor. So remember when we were doing the upper traps, we were here and went up for the upper traps. So what we're going to do is start from the upper trap position, scoot over just a little bit. So the arm is supported on the table. Can you push your hand down towards your knee? So that's the difference. Push your hand down towards your knee, and the lower trapezius would be down here. Inferior angle of the scapula is where you're going to be palpating for a 1. Nothing going on would be 2. So go ahead and practice that with your partner. Table and head crunches and all that. And that's wonderful if you're working with athletes or swimmers, but most of you will not be working with athletes or swimmers. And if you've been in a car accident, you have whiplash, or you have a herniated cervical disc, or you have a nerve impingement in the cervical spine, you are not going to tolerate the positions and the motions for those tests. But most people can sit there and hold their head straight up. So we can test those muscles isometrically, safely, because if they are painful, we're just going to ease the pressure off and document that it's weak and painful. Okay? So the muscle gradings are, it's either strong or weak. It's either painful or it's not. Okay? So it's either strong, no pain, strong and pain. It's either weak, no pain, weak and painful.